Good day, teachers, students, and moderators. My name is Clarice Ramutla, and the area that I'll be targeting in the supply chain is child labor. What is child labor? Child labor can be seen as a fast and easy method to produce goods, and this method is usually used by fast fashion companies such as Shein, while companies like Nike, Adidas, and more use this method as this method cuts production costs for the company or brand. Most of these companies utilize child labor in countries with slim to none child labor laws put in place for the children under the ages of 18. For example, countries such as Eritrea, Somalia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Myanmar, Sudan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, Yemen, and 187 more countries. These companies set up manufacturing factories in countries with no laws that protect the children of their own nations. Why is labor law viewed as a good way to help with production of products? Many companies or owners / CEOs of these companies all have the same belief and common saying: the younger you are, the faster and more energetic you are. To this day, many companies are recruiting children and exploiting them because biologically children are faster and more energetic than adults, and these companies tend to set unrealistic and inhumane goals for products that are to be produced. What are other negative facts about child labor? Children may be driven into work for various reasons. Most often, child labor occurs when families face financial challenges or uncertainty, whether due to poverty, sudden illness of a caregiver, or job loss of the primary wage earner. The negative effects of child labor are also nothing but staggering. Child labor can result in extreme bodily and mental harm and even death. It can lead to slavery and sexual or economic exploitation, and in nearly every single case, it cuts children off from schooling and healthcare, restricting their fundamental rights. Children who are migrants or refugees, many of whom have been uprooted by war, natural catastrophes, or poverty, also run the risk of being coerced into labor and even trafficked, particularly if they travel alone or via illegitimate routes with their families. Child labor restricts access to schooling and stunts a child's physical, mental, and social development, in contrast to activities that promote development, such as helping out around the house or working during the summer. The triple burden of education, job, and housework is especially detrimental for girls, since it increases their chances of falling behind academically and socially, leaving them more open to poverty and isolation. How does child labor affect the environment? Environmental pollution is the contamination of the physical and biological components of the earth to such an extent that normal environment processes are adversely affected. Child labor affects the environment negatively due to the unsafe conditions. Most factories don't consider their labor emissions or carbon footprints, which is called corporate carbon footprints. These causes consists of 5 basic types of pollution: air, water, soil, and light. Strategies that target and solve child labor in the industry, help by society and also government inputs. In the supply chain industry, companies should create explicit rules and policies that forbid using child labor in their supplier chains. Suppliers and other stakeholders should be informed of these rules and standards, which should also be made contractually and otherwise legally binding. Society can help reduce child labor by talking to the authorities. Write letters to the leaders of nations that tolerate any type of child slavery or forced labor and request that they tighten their laws, provide more opportunities for children to attend school, and provide humane, sustainable employment for adults. The government can also put a stop to child labor by addressing informality, extending social protection to all, improving legal enforcement mechanisms, increasing access to free basic quality education, and strengthening social dialogue. What can I do to help reduce child labor? What I can do soon to help reduce child labor is by creating campaigns that support poor communities with food, education, healthcare services, and other general human support for them. Children in those poorer communities will get basic education and be educated about the dangers of the supply chain industry. In other words, making them alert of the dangers they can potentially face and also giving them a head start on making their futures bright with the education they will be receiving. This is their grade R to grade 12 education. How can I be a conscious consumer? In order for me to be a conscious consumer, I will be buying things that I need, looking for quality over quantity, avoiding excessive packaging, and looking for the product I actually need. And this is my speech for life orientation. Thank you so much for